This is the most underrated player in the NBA.
A minute remaining. Brunson at three. Bam! Jalen Brunson does it again. Timeout Rockets.
Jalen Brunson just dropped 42 points and 10 assists against the Rockets, and 17 of those points came in the fourth quarter alone. If that sounds ridiculous, it's because it is. But what's even crazier, despite putting together arguably the best season of his career and one of the most efficient seasons for a guard, Jalen Brunson has been quietly dominating the NBA, flying under the radar while carrying the Knicks to one of their best seasons. So how is this happening? How is one of the league's most efficient, clutch, and complete offensive players still overlooked? Well, let's talk about it. But before I do, make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that post notification bell, and let's get right into it. When people think about elite NBA guards, names like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Steph Curry, Dame, Luka come to mind. But sitting quietly in New York, orchestrating an offense that's battled through injuries, roster changes, and endless adversity is Jalen Brunson, putting together a season that deserves to be in that conversation. And in my opinion, I think he's the best guard in the Eastern Conference. Averaging 26 and 7 on 60 true shooting, that's ridiculous. Brunson's scoring efficiency is of a big man, except he's a 6'2" guard taking tons of jumpers while relentlessly attacking the paint. His game is built on subtle brilliance, footwork, craft, and precision. That stuff doesn't always trend on Twitter, but man, does it help you win a lot of basketball games. A man is one of the league's best perimeter defenders, but right here, Brunson just makes him look like he couldn't even defend him at all. In and out dribble, and then he goes right through his chest, lowering his shoulder, and Thompson is in complete out of the way, not even in good defensive position, and Brunson gets him with this floater right here. It wasn't just Thompson who was getting to work. Look how on display he gets him with this beautiful fake out. Aaron Holiday is just completely out of the way, and Brunson gets this and one. Again, that footwork Brunson has isn't something you would typically see from a 6'2" guard. His craftiness around the rim, his handle isn't the prototypical handle you would think a guard would have, but his ability at finding those angles around the rim to get these layups off is ridiculous. It gets worse once you start adding that pick and roll in it. He's nearly averaging 1.05 points per possession as the pick and roll ball handler, putting him in the 90th percentile league wide. What makes him so dangerous, you might think? Patience. He doesn't rush. And shout out Karl-Anthony Towns, who's really helped Jalen Brunson unlock more of this pick and roll game, because as we know, Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the best shooting bigs ever. I mean, a 40% three-point shooter who's shooting more than three-point attempts a game really opens up the floor for the New York Knicks offense. And Jalen Brunson, who's already one of the most complete offensive players in the league, having this pairing of him and Karl-Anthony Towns in the pick and roll is ridiculous, because then you have the versatility, whether it's pulling up for a jumper and snaking the pick and roll to get hit to his floater, or then he's going to hit the roller with a perfectly timed pocket pass, because they're going to commit to either a double or a bait and switch, or sometimes not even a bait and switch. They'll just straight up hedge, and this is where Cat can kill you in the pick and pop. Brunson can punish defenses in a variety of ways. With Cat setting a high pick and roll and everybody spaced out, Russell goes over, but then Jalen Brunson jails him, and now with Jokic, who's in a drop, he's having to split in between Brunson and Cat. Well, Brunson could just throw a quick pocket pass, and that's Cat on the move. Nothing Jokic can do there. Cat doesn't even set a real screen here, and Brunson's attacking downhill on the left side. Now here he switches and detaches from Brunson because of that threat as Cat as a roller, but that just leaves and frees Brunson wide open for the mid-range pull-up. And because of the threat of a three-point shot, you can have situations where you'll now have to switch and it's a mismatch, and that threat of the pull-up has him have to put a hand up, and Cat can just attack downhill. That's the gravity of Cat as a three-point shooter, and the gravity of Jalen Brunson as a driver and scorer. Utah Jazz head coach talked about it one time. That threat of a Cat's three-point shot is really what frees up Brunson a lot of the times when he's attacking downhill. It opens up that playmaking ability where he can go and jail Asar right here, and because of Durant playing in a drop, it frees Cat wide open on the top of the key, and he can nail this every time. This little two-man action that they run every time, either with handoffs or in the pick and roll, as I'm mentioning, is what makes them such a dangerous tandem. When Brunson and Cat are on the floor, they have 122 offensive rating, which, if you don't understand what that really means, to make it easier for you to understand, the best offense in the NBA currently are the Cleveland Cavaliers with a 121.9. This duo of Brunson and Cat are, when they're on the floor together, they're arguably the best offense in the entire NBA, specifically because of that two-man action that they love running and how much they open up the floor for everybody else. He shoots 51% on his short mid-range jumpers, which is very elite. His bag, like the youngins say, is deep. Turnaround jumpers, those step backs, floaters with either hand, off balance shots through contact. Defenders knows what's coming, but it doesn't matter. His footwork, like I mentioned earlier, is so precise. His balance so strong that even elite defenders can't disrupt his rhythm. He's like a craftsman. Every dribble, pivot, and shot fake is done with purpose. It's not just the volume, it's the timing. When the Knicks need a bucket late in games and clutch situations, Brunson's mid-range jumper is their go-to weapon in isolation. Or, like I said, he can just go downhill, and most of the times he's gonna go left, but yet he always finds a way to go left, even when the defender knows he's gonna go left. But that ability at being so crafty and knowing when and how to use that pace is why he's such a great finisher. Not only a great finisher, but also a great mid-range shooter. And it's not fair that he's still a very good three-point shooter. Overall, he's a 40% three-point shooter, and he's a 40% three-point shooter on catch and shoot situations. So off ball, if you need him to spot up, he's going to be able to hit that three. When you have him in pick and roll situations, he's still able to hit those pull-up threes. It's really dangerous for opposing teams to guard. Defenders used to sag under screens, daring him to shoot sometimes. Now they don't have that luxury. Go under that screen, he'll drill three in your face. Fight over that screen, he'll blow by you, he'll try to gel you and hit you with that mid-range shot, or he'll gel you long enough and slow you down long enough where he can get to his floater or create for his teammates. Which is the funniest thing about all of this, because Brunson is still a really good playmaker. He's the team's lead creator and he's thriving in that role. He's averaging a career high in assists, and more importantly, he's doing it without sacrificing his scoring efficiency. His scoring efficiency actually went up. His passing has become more advanced at being able to hit skip passes to shooters in the weak side corner, those pocket passes to Cat, or even when he makes those passes to Josh Hart in traffic, or sometimes he'll make those quick passes to cutters at being able to find and read them when they're cutting to the rim. And he rarely makes mistakes. His turnover rate is incredibly low for someone with his usage, a testament to his decision making and composure under pressure. He leads the league in time of possession with 8.8 seconds, yet he still only averages 2.4 turnovers a game. That's a really great assist to turnover ratio, and I'm not even that big on that stat, I'll be completely honest with you, but the fact that Jalen Brunson can be as ball dominant as he is and he's not turning the ball over, like, I just don't understand why his season isn't being talked about more from other fans. I know you Knicks fans are talking about it and I'm talking about it, but why isn't more people acknowledging the season Brunson have? We don't need to talk about it being an MVP year for us to appreciate and talk about it more for what Brunson is doing this season. Like, I know he's not a John Moran, I know he's not a Steph Curry with a jump shot, but he's one of the most efficient scorers in the league, one of the best pick and roll maestros in the league, an elite clutch performer, and the engine driving one of the best teams in the East. I think it's time that we stop overlooking him. I know he used to get a lot of gas, especially in the past seasons, but then this year it's like people just completely looked away when he's arguably having his best year ever. Is completely weird to me. I mean, to me, he's having an all NBA season, and I don't think that's a question. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Where do you think Jalen Brunson ranks in the leagues amongst the best guards in the NBA? And make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell whenever I drop more breakdowns like this. And with that being said, check out this video because I think this was a well-made video. Not being biased at all, my guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.